Dímelo, mi gente. Paz y bendiciones, como siempre. I just want to tap in and share a quick word with you that was on my mind today, was on my heart, and that is always stay true to who you are, your real, true, authentic self. One thing my pops always instilled in me were these very powerful words. I can stand on them by my own experiences. That is a valuable piece of advice. See, people respect people who are themselves wherever you go, wherever you go in this world, whether they like you or not, whether they can relate to you or not, they still will respect the fact that you're not trying to be someone else. I carry these values. Well, I have carried these values all throughout my life. Naturally, one point or another, I may have, broken them a time or twice, but nobody's perfect. People everywhere can relate to the fact that none of us can stand a hypocrite or a fraud, a fake, a phony, liars, cheaters, or thieves, etc., etc. But my point here being, walk it like you talk it. That's the bottom line. Walk it like you talk it. That's why we, the world, hold higher standards for our leaders, pastors, teachers, preachers, coaches, clergies, anyone in the form of power or authority. You know, when I was in a joint, I remember seeing guys walk in one way and people would automatically become judgmental naturally in a place like that. And until you get to know them and realize that they were actually cool peoples, but they might have came in firm and set their standards so that they will be respected in there. And I get it. I myself as well am guilty of that. However, the guys who had the most problems, the ones who came in with their chest stuck out, the ones who came in loud, hot headed, and disrespectful for no damn reason. The ones that did things like keep everybody up all night, knowing that the two most important things in there is a man's sleep. Well, is a man's rest and whatever, and a man's food. A man's food and a man's sleep. He don't mess with either one of those, unless you want a problem. That's the easiest way to have a problem in there. Messing with a man's peace of mind. You know, there are always going to be those ones, those people in life who feel like they always have a point to prove. And excuse me, that were those guys. But not even on the inside, but outside of the real world. And I've always been one to be I would like to say that I'm a good observer. And I noticed quickly that that was a major sign of people who were afraid to actually be themselves. In life, I realized how much that is very important. How very important that was just to be myself in any situation. You know, I was never one that felt like I had to be tough, or if I was, bigger or stronger than somebody, to be a bully in the situations. But just being just being me. When I was younger, well, first of all, I always had a sense of humor. Sometimes going through things, traumatizing situations, and drama in your life, being in the streets, it tends to turn many hearts of gold cold. Is what I say. I've seen many hearts of gold turn cold, and they lose their sense of humor. I did at once point in time. Um, but at one point in time, I might have, even when I was younger, I was probably a little goofy sometimes. But there are guys that are just naturally like that. And I tell you one thing, they got a lot of respect just for being them. Whoever you may truly be is the most important part, because see, a lot of people don't know who they are, and they hide behind things. They mask things. They hide behind the money, their cars, their jewelry, their clothes. You know, whatever those whatever those masks may be. But when you get those things stripped away from you, and all you really have left is to look in the mirror and realize the man that's standing on the other side of that, the reflection that's in that mirror, most people can't even realize who they are without those vices, those material things. So ask yourself a question. Do you really know who you are? Ask yourself, who am I really without any of these things? Do I feel comfortable with who I am? And really answer that. And really answer that. Do you really know yourself? Say, do I really know myself? With that being said, the bottom line is, think about it. Peace and blessings to everyone out there. Stay true to yourself. Always stay true to yourself. Much love, y'all.